So, being on Facebook as I am, and just being merely a voyeur of the Facebook, I don't partake in the Facebook posts that much anymore. I saw an individual that I know fairly closely post something on Facebook. His name's Otto.
Oh, wait. He's sitting
Wait,
right
this
next
one's
to
Hey,
me.
Otto. Hey.
Hey.
This is based on something you posted on Facebook, and it
this-
was outrage in the news over the slang used by Gen Z and the confusion that it caused.
Yeah.
And it was a news article talking about how the Gen Z slang just makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense.
Are you capping right now?
Do what?
Are you capping right now?
Well,
Dead ass?
I'm not capping right now. Allow me to read you my Nerded Through the Grapevine Gen Z translator.
Okay.
Oh, no.
When the Gen Zs say bet, that is agreed
yeah.
or okay.
You'd put money on that thing.
Yeah,
Bet.
Because
Okay.
you
Like,
feel
That's
it's
good.
right.
I agree.
Like, I would bet money on
I
this.
agree.
You don't
Okay.
enunciate the T.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
yeah, bet.
And then you've got sus, giving the impression that something is questionable or dishonest.
Or suspect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Suspicious.
It's suspicious.
It come from the game Among Us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
you've got mid, which blows my mind a little bit because you say mid, I think middle of the road. Incorrect. Mid is below average or low quality.
Yeah, like
So
that
what's
brownie
worse?
That's
was
stupid.
mid.
Why don't they just say low? I don't know, but it's a Gen Z, so that's
Right.
why I'm
Because-
translating.
Because low is lame. As a Gen Z, mid is just like, I mean, it was mid. Like, it wasn't bad, but like, it was like a 4 out of 10.
Okay, so not quite a 5.
Yeah, it's not quite a 5, but like,
So mid would be considered in these translations. Mid would be considered anything that is of middle of the road or below.
yeah.
A burger that they forgot the cheese, right?
Yeah,
Because like a cheeseburger, just a cheeseburger in general, I would say middle, right? It doesn't have bacon, it doesn't have all the fixins, just a cheeseburger.
No blueberry
But you-
jalapeno compote.
Right, none of that. So you're just given a hamburger without the cheese. So
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, it's still fine.
yeah, like it's not the worst thing you've eaten, but you're not gonna get it again.
No.
But then here comes my least favorite and most abused of the Gen Z phrases. Fire.
I mean,
I
that's a
hate
good
that.
thing.
I hate it so much.
That's a good thing.
No,
That's
Fire
a
means
good-
that is
outstanding
fire.
or gaining popularity quickly.
Right.
Oh, really?
It's also
I've never
it's
heard
a little bit of an older one. I explained that to my mom, and then she just started calling things fire, and I had to be like, "No, mother, that's you're not using it right." And she's like, "Okay, I'll be more fire next time." And I'm like, "Could you not though?"
You see, for
See-
for me, somebody says fire, I think Beavis and Butthead, and and Beavis, fire, fire, fire.
like the hot stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like something's on fire, like
see-
something's literally burning.
Why don't they use? We used radical, and
or dope.
dope. Dope
Dope.
was a thing. Now it's just drugs.
Yeah.
No one says dope when they don't mean drugs.
it's also
I still say dope.
I still say dope.
you're right. Dope
Well,
is
this
also
dope. Not like this is drugs.
Right.
I still say sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
say that
yeah.
too.
I was a product of Kevin Nash's wrestling, though, so he always
Like,
Every
oh,
now
that's
and then?
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. It's the same thing.
yeah.
Every now and then, I still pull out a shibby or a
Ooh.
sweet action.
Ooh, sweet action. That's
Yeah.
right up there with Cool Beans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Cool Beans guy all day.
Yeah.
And you got
Yeah.
drip, which if somebody says drip to me, I say go to the clinic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But drip is something that is cool and fashionable.
So
Clothing.
like my new hat.
Yeah,
is-
like-
it's a sick drip.
That
You were
fat
drippy.
head drip.
You're
Yeah,
drippy.
you say if you say like
okay.
I respect the drip, it's like
right.
I
But I'm-
respect the clothing that you have on.
But am I also capping because it is a hat?
No.
You're literally
No, you would
capping.
say you like that hat, no cap.
You'd think
And-
the
But
cap.
the hat itself is also colloquially called a cap.
You're
so it
correct.
caps the top of my
That's
head.
why when something is sus on Twitter, you put the hat emoji because you're calling it cap.
Yeah.
What's Twitter?
I thought it
Yeah.
was just
I don't know what that
refuse
is.
to call it X. I will fist fight Elon Musk I will knife fight him in a telephone booth.
So
before I
you've
call
got
it X.
you've got a man built like an ogre versus a man built like a drumstick. This will be a great battle, and I hope you eat him alive.
Oh yeah,
You've got no cap being the final on my Gen Z translator, and
You
no
didn't do
cap
yeet?
meaning no lie, or Gen Z's version of nah shit.
But hold on, we have to also talk about the worst and stupidest one, yeep.
No,
Yeet
that's a
is-
vehicle, Tiny.
That's,
a
and
yeep
that's
is a
not
vehicle.
that's
I
not
mean,
a
take
Gen
off
Z
road.
thing either.
It
That's
is definitely not a my generation
that's
thing.
well, that's
it's
a carried on.
millennial. It's a middle generational kind
It's
of slang.
still your generation. Don't
it
just
exists
because you
between-
don't like it doesn't mean it's not one of
and
yours.
It's,
I
and
love
it's
yeet.
actually farmland American is what that is. It's a region that's centralized inside of the middle of the United States. It's not South. It's not North. It's farmland America. Those are the only folks you're going to hear talking about yeeting a damn thing.
Well, it's like it means like I'm gonna throw it.
Yeah.
Yeet is
So
for
it's like
speed.
throwing something and yelling the word "throw" at the same time.
Yeah,
how
it is-
stupid is that?
So, yeet is for speed, Kobe is for accuracy, and yoink is the opposite of yeet, but taking
But
it.
but you can but
So the Lord yeeteth and the Lord yoinketh away.
but you can also miss and it still be a Kobe.
Well,
As long as you hit
you
the
can
mountain.
call a Kobe, but that's only to channel the power for accuracy.
This soft open, how it lands somewhere between fire and mid.
Yeah, brought to you by Subaru.
I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. Okay. Solid. Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer.
I'm Otto Cadle Cogdell.
And I'm yeeping back at you as Tiny. No cap.
And
Boy.
Oh,
we are Nerded Through the Grapevine, the podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And we're coming at you for the second week in a row with Bring Your Podcast to Work Day, Part 2. And in Bring Your Podcast to Work Day, Part 2, man, that's going to be a long title, but I'm going to use it anyway.
Just call it Vapesack. Duh.
Okay. Yes.
Vapesack Redux.
Done. That's so much better. Now I don't have to think of a title. I wanted us to talk about things that we want to see coming back. We want to see the things that once were in and then no longer in. And it doesn't even have to be like a specific thing. It could be an idea surrounding a thing. Like for me, my first thing about this that I think of is LAN parties. So like when you and your friends bring over either your PC tower or your Xbox or PlayStation, and hell, this even worked for Game Boys with link cables. So basically you all link up on the same network inside the house and you're all playing the game together with one another as opposed to online away from each other. And that's awesome. And the new way to do it is so much easier and smoother. But in a house that I lived in called Granny's Palace,
Yes.
GFP,
Was she hot?
me and my, I wish you could have met her. I wish you could have decided that. Because I feel bad for saying, yes or no. But I mean, mid. We'll go mid.
I did see
She was
her,
a mid gilf.
She was big.
I did see her spank her grandson's naked ass while he was shaking himself at his mother because they came into the house unannounced and he was just showing them whose house it was.
He asserted dominance.
And the whole time, Granny's just screaming, "You put that away! You put that away!" And then Mom's just screaming his name and saying, "No, stop it! Stop it!"
Granny was spanking him with a rolled up magazine the whole time.
There are videos on the internet that start off that way.
Oh man, this would have been incredible if I would have been recording it.
That's one of those things. Well, we couldn't have recorded it because I was crying laughing.
Yeah, we were hurting.
Like because this man he had no what is it?
Shame.
Yeah.
Decorum.
So me and this naked gentleman that slung his stuff all over the place in front of Mom and Granny, we had couches in the middle of our living room, and we had them back to back. And on either wall that the couches were facing, we had our TVs and our PlayStations hooked up to where we were playing the game online with one another, normally Rocket League or at the time Overwatch. And we were able to just play the same game together in the room together behind one another.
So it was like playing online before online.
Yes.
So no cap. That's kind of
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah, that's what me and my cousin, we rarely did LAN, but we always did with Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation. They had multiple players, and kind of with the LAN party, couch co-op.
Yes.
I would love to see, because there's just something different about like playing games with people. Because like I play a lot of online games, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Sea of Thieves, like just all those, and like it's fun. I enjoy that, but nothing quite beats playing Mario Party with your friends while they're there, and you can yell at them in the face about how bad they are versus just yelling about it over the phone. And it's like, it's just a different experience. And I think Nintendo, there has been some resurgence of that recently, but I think the only game company that has consistently done it is Nintendo. Because my opinion on Nintendo, as someone that doesn't like platformers and don't like most first-party Nintendo IPs, they make fantastic party games.
Yeah, because they're making things more that are family-oriented, that they want the
Yes.
kids and the parents to be able to sit there and play the game together. But most of the time it ends up being adults our age cussing each other out while playing mini games.
Yeah.
With
Well,
one another.
see, as we all know, I grew up a poor.
Correct.
Okay. And so when I moved out and became a less poor, my friends who were also poors or thereabouts, we never had, the time or the situation to allow something like that to transpire. So no cap, I think that'd be fire to do. I'm willing to yeet myself across town to do this with my friends, just so I can experience it for the first time, and so they can re-experience that. Because playing a game in the same room with a friend, playing online no way compares that, because I can't like side eye them and just be like, hey, you screen watching SOB.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's different because, and it can also get physical.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
like,
I will not be wearing pants.
like, no, it will not.
I mean, no pants.
Yeah.
Hashtag
It's like
no
it's like no
pants.
cap, but
Yeah.
it's no pants.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Now-
some of those Mario Party games, it gets close, and the fun part of Mario Party is, especially as adults, we can partake in substances and drink and stuff and have fun.
Like a glass of milk and a bag of salt and vinegar
like
chips.
Just
Dead
a nice
ass.
tall glass of strawberry milk, and it just brings an extra layer of fun to it. But also, sometimes you end up going way too hard in a practice round thinking that it was the real game, and you end up almost fighting your friend, because that totally hasn't happened to me.
Like
but-
in Mario Party before you all like
Yes, so
Link
for,
up.
for all those that don't know, Mario Party it's like a virtual tabletop game, and everyone moves through turns. In each spot, they get stuff, and then in between, once everyone has completed one turn, they get a mini game where you can get coins, items, just different stuff. And before each one, because Nintendo is a very player first kind of mindset, they have a practice round where it's just a safe way to practice, get your movement down, get your ideas down before the game actually starts. But sometimes you're not thinking, and you get you think it's the real thing, and you get going way too hard, and you end up swearing at your best friend multiple times.
and the screen is obviously different because it has like
Yeah,
a border
but-
around it.
Yeah, but
and
once you get
instructions
locked in,
and all
listen,
kinds
I am
of
like
stuff.
a predator. I get locked in tunnel vision onto that. It is an understood rule in my household that no matter what bond we have, when we play games, it's none. Me and my wife cannot play Monopoly, just the two of us anymore.
Oh, no.
Because I win, and she's not here to say differently. She says I cheat, and the way I cheat is I play the game right.
Which no one does. So
Right.
everyone
Nobody
thinks
does.
you're probably cheating, but no one knows how to play
Because
Monopoly.
we play on the Switch, because
Yeah.
I don't have to the most annoying part of Monopoly is dealing with money and stuff. So you just play electronically, and it takes care of everything.
See, I
can't
like
cheat that
playing the banker because I can cheat.
Yes.
And I'm just going to tell you, if I catch somebody cheating and it's not me, I will send you to jail and you will meet Big Country. You won't have to worry about dropping the soap. He'll knock it out your hand and say, "Pick it up, buddy."
Oh my gosh! But yeah, like that is almost a thing, because like getting competitive, I'm not a very competitive person in online games. Like I want to be good, but I'm not gonna like sweat it out. But whenever it's just something different when it's your friend there with you.
Yeah.
And even with LAN parties, I mean, I remember seeing some from the old days of like CS:GO where there's just a warehouse full of computers of everyone playing games, and it's just an energy to the room of everyone here is here for the same thing, and we're here in person. Like I can, because if you've never been around a large group of people, saying there's 16 people in a room is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That was a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you get like 16 people together on because the original Xbox, you can have 4 controllers in each one. And I had friends that would have 4 Xboxes hooked up with 4 controllers each. Or I think that may be...
That's 16.
That's 16. It's like, that's a lot of people to have in one room. And you don't have to worry about latency because it's all connected on the same system.
Right.
And it's like, there's just a different energy about it. And those are memories that, like, I have memories from being online, but more of my favorite gaming memories are... I'm here in the room with this person.
Right. But it's a lot more effort to make that kind of thing happen. And it's the camaraderie and having people in person playing the game. Like you said, it can't be matched really, but there's too many positives to playing online with people because at our age, like most people, like your schedules are kind of airtight. Like you don't have much time to be able to
drive
do
over to my friend's house 4 nights a week.
Yeah, exactly. But you can have
You are the only one stopping you. Is it a good idea? Probably not. But you have the ability to do
stop
so.
Me eventually.
Yes. Just get online. No, it's not the same. I want to look into your eyes when I
want to hold
uppercut
hands
you.
while playing Mario Party.
Tiny, you mentioned earlier you and the other Pours when you got together. When Pours get together for a gathering, is it called a spill of people?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It depends on the activity.
Okay,
right.
Because when it's dead ass real hot fire outside,
Yeah.
it is definitely more of a spill situation,
Right.
Because you begin to sweat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the closest thing to this LAN idea of a bunch of people getting together to play video games with one another was a recent thing in Pokemon Go, where that was kind of taking this thing of, okay, everybody's playing online, but to play together, you meet up and you actually play the game together by walking around, the city or whatever.
And again, like that's Nintendo. It was just, I heard people describe it. Like I don't know if I'd say it this exact, but I heard people, it's like one of the last times that humanity was like together on something.
Yeah, it was Pokemon.
It was like. Even though not everyone knows, I have friends that don't know a lick about Pokemon that play Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
They know all their Pokemon from Pokemon Go. And you know what? Mm-hmm. That's a Pokemon fan right there because it's an official thing.
Yeah.
But it's like even people because it was the trend. I mean, even if you didn't know, you still downloaded it and tried it out because everyone's playing this Pokemon thing. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
And it just brought together this community of like, hey, we're all having fun with this together. Mm-hmm. And we're all in this together and have like you can talk about it at work.
And there was a lot of people that I heard like negative about it, and there wasn't really negative unless you're of course staring at your phone and walking into the street to try to go get a Pokemon.
Right.
That was the main negative.
Or racing across the city of Cookville
to try to get a Blastoise
in 15 minutes and Tokyo drifting your car through the streets to get a Blastoise.
Yes, I once did that. That was one of the last times I played. But those that did not like the idea of it were obviously people that did not experience it because it was neat whenever me and some friends went to the ETSU campus and we went around a bunch of strangers and all of a sudden you hear people across campus screaming that there's a Charizard. So like all these people go running towards it and it's everybody playing together in the same space.
And it also got people outdoors because I had this experience recently. I don't go out a whole lot. I went to Cane Creek Park with a friend to throw some disc golf, and I realized there's so much more to that park that they just have.
Oh yeah,
and it's like a lot of people don't get out, especially nowadays with like online gaming and a lot more online stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't get out and do things anymore. So it's just like I get to go out and see my community and realize like, hey, maybe things aren't so bad because like. There's greenery here. I can go do this for free.
Right.
Right, because everything costs so much money now.
Yes. Everything costs money.
one thing I would love to see a resurgence in. It's kind of the same idea of, getting together with buddies, community and stuff. Like just forts, man. You remember building forts as a kid?
Right.
Yes.
Like going out in the backfield and getting garbage and making like a little house to pee through the wall in and stuff. Like some of my best memories were in like the ricketiest of structures that should not have been standing.
Did you
Why
ever
do we not
do
do
cardboard fights?
Yes.
There is.
What is a cardboard fight?
In Australia, there is an official yearly tournament where people make the only rules is you can use cardboard, hot glue, and rubber bands, and they make armor and weaponry.
Use duct tape too.
And duct tape.
Yeah.
They make armor and weaponry and fight to the last man standing, and then they make this big cardboard tower that they topple at the end.
That sounds fun.
People make tanks out of cardboard and everything to come through. Like, it's wild.
Right. And I wish that was more of a thing here. I'm honestly surprised we don't have that, because we have a college town. We have an engineering college here that's full of a bunch of nerds. Who doesn't want to make cardboard armor?
Well, it's like
and
LARPing.
fight,
It's
right?
LARPing, but cheaper.
Yes,
you get to.
And you
everything's
don't have to
cardboard.
be weird about it. You can just make. Listen, I've been involved in a lot of the D&D nerd space. LARPers are.
They're the weird, crazy cousins.
It's a level that
hardcore-
I'm jealous of.
It's a level that I'm jealous of, but I don't know if I want to achieve.
Right.
I mean, have you ever LARP sword fought? Like, I've done it.
so
It's,
fun.
it's
I've
fun,
not.
but man, it's so tiring. I am a large American, and I get winded.
If I was a D&D class, I was built to be a berserker. Like, I get a big hammer, I swing like 4 or 5 times, and then I'm out.
Your stamina
like,
is gone.
I am a tank. I'm built like a old Chevy, all steel, very slow, but by God, it'll get there. So
I feel that.
running around and fighting this, I'm like, I'm not built for this. I'm built to just like knock you over and hit you.
It's kind of like I'm built different. By that I mean incorrectly.
Yes, definitely, that is it.
Yeah, I think LARPing now is like the fort building, but for those with a little bit more money. So as a
And
kid, you're
the
building
nerd
forts out of trash
commitment.
and garbage, but then you get a little bit older, and now you got a little money to spend on stuff. So then you go buy the swords and the armor and the, I don't know, maybe castle
Right.
walls.
Although one LARP that I think is actual hardcore, I don't even know if it'd be considered LARPing. They have full contact medieval fighting going on. I've seen it on TikTok where they're in like full plate armor, and they're they're blunted weapons.
I want to say it's called Hemu or something like
Hema.
that.
Hema.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They use European martial arts.
Yeah,
and
and
actually use
mean,
like the
these-
knightly code fighting stuff.
And these guys aren't going
cool.
like, I've seen like them punching, because everyone's
yeah.
in full plate armor.
Yeah.
So like, and it's an understood thing. Like they go at it. I looked it up because I was like, I want to learn sword fighting, because my goal in life is to be a weird old man where my children don't know my past because of all the weird skills that I have.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
Yes.
So
you're
I was
on your
wanting
way.
to add sword fighting to that, and I was like, I don't want to do Japanese sword fighting. I'd like to do European longsword fighting, because like I feel like I'm more built for that.
Yeah.
You know, my ancestors were built for pulling potatoes from the ground for the winter, not fighting quickly.
You need a
Built
bastard
for
sword,
strength,
Right.
not longevity.
not a katana.
And HEMA there's a HEMA club here in Tennessee, but they're in Murfreesboro and Nashville.
Yeah.
But they do training courses where you go from I've never held a sword before to like you can almost like you fight like sword fight, and it's really cool and something I'd really like to do, but I can't drive to Nashville 3 times a week to practice.
No, because I looked into it too, and it just looks so cool. Like, I want to be the guy out there with a big fuck off Zweihander sword, just going ham.
Berserk, like gut
And
sword.
It's like I can't afford the gas and the sword and the time commitment all at the same time, and the armor, but
And go to work.
yeah, and go to work.
And you don't want to rent the things, because
No,
a suit of
that's not
armor is not the
fun.
kind of thing you rent.
No. Plus, do you think that they carry my size? I've got to order pretty much every stitch of clothing offline
Yeah.
because I am huge.
What is the equivalent now of like fort building, do you think? Is there anything that comes close to that idea?
Not that I'm aware of, and that's what saddens me.
Right?
I think LARPing would be about the closest, and even that's a
Yeah.
very like high niche.
Well, I mean,
kinda
here's the
thing.
thing:
Yeah.
we're so picky nowadays that we're like, oh, well, when we get at the Grape Sack, it's hot and we have a fan and stuff, and so we're like, we're sweaty. We don't want to be out here a whole lot longer than we have to be.
We're a lot higher
But
maintenance.
we are. Whereas when we were kids, man, like one particular fort, the guy lived next to a junkyard because his dad collected junk.
man.
Okay, he had a full semi cab sitting out there in the
Hell
weeds.
yeah.
Like we cut through it with machetes, and took random bits of scrap metal and deck screwed it to that thing, and you'd get stabbed and tetanus, and stepping on nails.
A
and,
kid's dream.
yeah,
Right.
and there was like a piece of PVC we shoved through a random rust spot, and that was where you peed. And now if we was there as an adult, we'd be like, man, this is tetanus. What if I get an infection from getting scratched, and you want me to pee through that tube? It smells like pee. It's like
Living next to a junkyard, a dream as a kid.
Right.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
It's a world of infinite possibility.
Dude, that's my dream as an adult. I want a whole junkyard. I don't want to spend the money to get the junkyard.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've seen that show Junkyard Wars, and they made some of the coolest stuff out of junk.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was such a cool show.
Yeah, it was.
I think camping is probably the closest thing to that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but it's like,
I mean, maybe, but you'd have to go like primitive style. That's
Yeah.
Well,
that's
actually-
probably about as close as you're gonna get.
There,
lean-tos
there
and
is
stuff.
there's been more of a push for like I think they call it like clean camping or light camping.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot more of that like primitive style stuff, but it's more about like going in light and not leaving a big footprint more
Yeah.
than like
Yeah, but
building a
in order,
cool fort,
in order
'cause-
to do so, it's expensive though. Like, because every
Yes.
bit of gear, like you want to get like the lightest thing possible. If you're hiking 4 miles in,
And sometimes-
you don't want the 10-pound sleeping bag. You want the half pounder.
Yeah.
That also protects you up to like negative 20 degrees.
It's
and
a
that thing's
quarter
like
of-
$1 million.
yeah, it's a quarter of the material but 4 times the price.
Yeah.
That's another thing with like younger me and camping. It didn't matter how much stuff I had with me. Like I went when I was like 16, 17,
Yeah.
18. I would have just a backpack full of stuff, basically 2 backpacks, like a sling over the front, a backpack on the back.
Yeah.
It probably weighed, 60 pounds. And it didn't matter to me. I was just like, I just want to bring all this stuff. And now I'm like, okay, if I want to go camping, I'm going to have to spend $600 on the right equipment for me to
Right.
be okay with
Yeah.
hiking
Well,
that way and do
Yeah.
it.
Well, and you also have to determine: am I just going to I'm going to pull up to this, basically field and camp within eyesight of the car, or am I willing to take my large American frame, miles into the woods to the middle of nowhere and camp? I mean, I've done both. I prefer being deep in there once I'm in there, but I also hate it on the way out.
Yeah.
Because the whole way out I'm dying.
I'm
Yeah.
okay if I don't see the car, but I want to be able to walk like 2
Well,
minutes and
There-
see
Well,
the
there's
car.
there are two different versions there. You've got one that is actual camping, and the other one is dump camping. And I've always been a dump camp boy. Just you drive your car there, you camp outside your car. There's your car right over there. You
Yep.
can see it. Awesome. If you need to make a quick getaway, you just ball everything up and you run. But in the normal camping situations where you got to walk out and hike out into the woods, find your campsite, make everything safe, put your food up in the trees so the bears don't get it.
Yeah, that's
a
Worry
lot of
about the
work.
fact that you're having to have bear defense in the first place. That's I don't do that. That's not for me. Now dump camping, I can dump camp, but bear defense camping, nay says I.
Well,
Well,
and
see,
I don't camp either because the month or two ago I sat down for 6 hours on my floor to build a Lego set, and I had trouble walking the next day. So I don't know if sleeping on the ground would really agree because whenever I remember being like
They have hammocks.
a teenager and just being able to sleep anywhere. I mean, I would lay on the ground a lot of times and watch TV, sleep on the ground, just hang out. Now, if I have to get up and down too often, even though I can, it's not fun. My back hurts.
Yeah.
I'm getting like humans weren't designed to live very long. I should be middle aged by now.
Well, see, the last time I went camping, okay, and we're talking a few years ago, pre-machine that keeps me alive while I sleep.
Yeah.
So I had my little Scotty dog with me, and we hiked all the way down to Virgin Falls. And when we left, they were still called Virgin Falls, in case anybody
I was going to
curious.
ask
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
still
I
were.
was-
yeah, they
Hopefully
were
they
not
were
just
done with
renamed
it.
the falls.
Okay, gotcha.
And there's wild hogs in places, right?
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we heard some. They were kind of off in their own places. Was off in our own places. I had means of defense, because you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because hogs, they will destroy.
They
you.
will mess you up.
And I had my Scotty dog with me. I had Jude, my little Jude girl, and so she was not a fan by the time we got back because she was as tired, if not more tired than me, because she was 14 at the time.
Oh, man,
yeah.
that's a long day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the hike
that's a
out.
lot.
The hike out was 4 hours in the rain. She was done.
yeah.
As was I. I looked like a big baked potato because I cut a hole in my tarp and wrapped it around me, but I had dry clothes when we got to the truck.
Nice.
Unlike Jeremy. He's I spent $5 on this tarp. I don't want to cut a hole in it. Cut a hole in it.
Cut a hole in the
Stop.
$5
Come
tarp.
on, bro. Anyway, so probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's still dark because we're in the middle of nowhere. We're in my one-man tent, which became one man and a dog tent. And something started like making noises and touching the side of my head because as large as I am, the one-man tent, my head is firmly pressed into the peak and my feet are firmly pressed into the foot area.
You need a 1.5 man tent.
I need a 1.5 man tent.
Yeah.
So, laying in there on my mat, in this early morning light, there was like a kind of sound, right? So I wake up thinking, this is a wild hog. So I look down, and my little girl is asleep between my legs, my little Scotty girl. And so I punch as hard as I can at this thing through the wall, tearing a hole in my tent, which has been since repaired. And I realized I punched a Labrador in the face.
No, what was the lab doing?
I felt bad because I punched the dog.
Was that Jeremy's dog?
It was not. It was some random person hiking out in the dark. You should not ever hike in the dark.
Yeah.
Especially there because there's just random cliffs and places.
And there's wild hogs.
Exactly. I thought it was a wild hog investigating our campsite. It turned out to be some guy's Labrador that I just punched in the face as hard as I can.
The friendliest of dog breeds.
Yes.
That had to have hurt your heart.
It did.
So
It hurt my heart so bad.
You were
But
bet
you
that-
also understood your situation.
Yes,
Yeah,
I come out of the tent yelling at the guy, and mind you, I'm 6'5", roughly 400 pounds. I'm hairy. I'm a hairy man. I come out of there stark naked, and I'm yelling at this guy. What do you think you're doing? You can add sentence enhancers as you want to,
Right.
because they were probably there plus some. And he's like, "You punched my dog." I said, "I thought it was a wild hog. Why are you hiking out in the dark? This is the most dangerous thing you can do." And he said, "You're naked." I said, "I was asleep." And then I never saw that man again. The dog was fine,
Good.
to
Yeah.
wrap up the whole thing. It hurt his pride. I think, thankfully, he was on the way back to his owner. I wouldn't say his master because, anyway.
You got to earn that title.
Yeah, you got to earn that title. And so he was fine. I think his nose was bloody. I felt a little sorry about that.
Let's not talk about that bloody-nosed
The
Labrador
owner
anymore.
made
That makes
you
me
punch
sad.
it.
The owner made me
Made
due to
you
his
punch it.
irresponsibility.
Exactly. Austin mentioned dump camping, and every time I've dump camped, I always end up sleeping in the car because I just lie there hurting. And I'm like,
Ground hard.
the car is right there. So I just end up sleeping in the car. But anytime I've done like into the woods camping, and we mentioned raining, because it's only going to rain when
always
you're
gonna rain.
in the woods away from any kind of shelter. But when it does that, when there's like no other option, I'm just fine with being completely drenched in rain. Like,
Now-
there's nothing else to do. If I have my technology inside of, a water safe compartment, I don't care anymore, because what else is there? I could put a lot of effort into trying to stay dry, but what's the difference at that point? because I'm so far away from any real shelter. So
Right.
It's like
It's not that bad.
every single time you camp, it rains. Always.
yes, always.
The last time I dump camped, I got Lyme disease, so I don't dump
Ooh.
camp no more.
Yeah, camping in general sounds like you've had a rough go.
I've had rough times, but they've also been fun times, except
Yeah.
for the rough parts.
I didn't even know limes grew in Tennessee.
No, that's a whole other story. I blame the Nazis for Lyme disease.
Me too.
If you want to know why I say that, research tick bomb.
Ooh,
Is this one of those they're turning the frogs gay kind of things?
No, this was a legitimate thing that the
okay.
government was working on.
this was different.
Turning the fucking frogs gay.
Yeah. Also, my camping story. Whenever me and my wife were first dating, she was like, "Hey, let's go camping." I'm like, "Okay, cool. When?" She's like, "Second week of July," and I'm like,
Why?
Oh God, no!
"Could we not?"
No.
And she's like, "No, it'll be fine. We were at one of the campsites, had like a plug-in. We're gonna be some fans." I'm like,
Still
okay,
miserable.
okay. Well, we'd been dating for like 2-3 months, so I'm not gonna go. Now I would be like, "Hey, babe, we're not doing this." But
Hell
this is
no.
like 2 months,
You got to prove your mettle.
right? And then it got closer to the day, and it was like thunderstorms, 80% chance on the second night, and I'm like, "Babe, she's like, it'll be fine. We're in a tent," and I'm like, okay,
Last words.
okay,
It'll be fine. We're in a tent.
okay. I'm like, you know what? It'll be okay.
We have an oversized rain jacket that we'll be sleeping under. We're okay.
It's
So,
got sturdy poles made of
the-
fiberglass. It's great. They're strong. You know how hard it was to get these things bent in here?
The first night, I think it was 85 degrees inside of the tent and very humid, and no one slept. It was so hot that we stayed up, got so tired that we slept all through the next day. Second day, went down to the lake. It was fine. Third day, it started to rain, and then it started to rain, and then it was thunderstorming, and then it was everything is in the middle of the tent because there's pools of water on the outside of the tent. And then we went home, and all of us ate like $40 worth of McDonald's because the food was
earned
okay.
it.
Allie, I love you. You are such a fantastic friend to Heidi, but she cannot cook.
Oh no.
She cannot. She
Especially
cannot
in the
cook.
wild.
Oh Lord, it was bad. it was rough. I don't know if she'll listen to this, but either way, it was. But now I've told her, I'm like, babe, I love you, but I will never go camping in July again with you. I will only go camping in late September, early October.
Yeah, now
Like,
is the time.
Yeah, not July 7th.
Yeah, and not Memorial Day. That's the worst day.
You both survived that trip though without hating one another,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think without that camping trip, you might not even be together to this day.
It definitely was an early like, hey, I've put in some work here.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, there is the law of equivalent exchange that goes into camping. Okay, when you get there, you excrete so much grease out of your body.
It's
Then
true.
when you're done, you just crave grease to
Yeah.
get back to homeostasis, because the premier foods to eat after camping is McDonald's, and the cheapest McDonald's, because
Yes.
you want the grease.
You're not getting a combo.
No.
You're ordering as many things off the,
getting-
I want
the
4
small menus.
McDoubles
Yes.
and
Oh,
a
yeah.
large fry.
Yeah, I'm getting like 3 McDoubles, 3 McChickens. I'm making the McGangbangs out of
The
them.
McChurger.
And I'm probably going to get a milkshake if the ice cream machine's not broke, or we go to the Chinese buffet.
Ooh,
Lord.
yes.
Oh, I can tear
Both of those things, you achieve homeostasis again, and it causes discord. Go down in the description,
Yes.
click the link. It'll take you to our Discord. You can tell us about your camping experiences or whatever. There's memes. It's a happy, slappy, fun time. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised.
And when you get there, you can even like take pictures of you holding a holographic sticker that you got from joining our Patreon, or wearing a T-shirt that you got from Teespring or Redbubble or whatever it is we use. I think we use both.
We want to be on your body.
We want to be on your body, and for you to give us money in order to do so.
Yeah.
So you could use all these things together at one time. It's a lot of fun. Tell you, that was so good.
I know.
I think every time it happens, I'm gonna like just be like, "Yes,
Right,
got
right.
it." What is
And
Otto? What
what-
are you thinking?
So
what
one
are you
thing
thinking?
I really wish would come back. I don't know. I've been on a big comic book kick lately. I was never really big into comic books. I like superheroes. My big thing is, and I'm kind of seeing it come back, animation coming back into the zeitgeist of like for adults, like as pieces of art. Because like with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, I haven't seen Across yet.
Oh boy, you gotta.
I know. I need to.
You gotta.
But I've seen as
gotta,
few clips
Otta.
as I can. But animation is just such an amazing art form, and I think it does well for a lot of mediums because for superheroes, I've said this once, I'll say it a million times, real people flying around like superheroes looks goofy. It doesn't look
it
right.
does.
Yeah.
It's because like the momentum just isn't there. When you see a person, you're like, I know how a person moves.
Yeah.
But you watch an animated superhero movie or animated Star Wars movie, and it's great because seeing an animated person fly around and do flippy flips, that just looks cool.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, he's doing a triple backflip into a double handspring and then Kamehameha in his ass. It's like, yeah, that's cool. If I saw that in person, I'd be like, dude, why are you trying so hard?
It's like, dude, you're gonna break.
Yeah, that's not how people move. You're not people. But yeah, just that animation coming back, and I really wish that it does actually come back and studios invest in it.
Well, and it's there for them to make the most money that they possibly can, which is the only reason they want to make movies anyway
Yeah,
at all,
sadly.
period, or any entertainment whatsoever. But they've got to find that line now between adults enjoying it and the younger people enjoying it. Not
Right.
necessarily kids, but younger people. And I think they've been doing that a whole lot better lately with, like you said, like the Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse in general is just so good. But it's one that you can enjoy. Like I could bring my nephews to go watch it with me.
Yes.
But I also watch it by myself and feel things because it's that
Yes.
good. And there's just a lot of effort and talent being put into them.
Well, I feel like a lot of what they go for now, which is one reason why I'm not huge in animation, is when they think adult animation, they think more Family Guy, American
Oh my
Dad,
gosh, I
that
hate
sort
it.
of thing, and that
Yeah.
kind of humor. Or they go to the other extreme of for kids because they think family friendly means for kids.
Right.
And they don't have to be mutually exclusive to be both adult oriented and family friendly.
Right.
And I don't think that they've learned that balance.
Also, just a lot of times, like you were saying with adult animation, it's like your gross out humor, wow, random humor. And
Yeah.
it's just, it gets so bad. You can have an adult animation where they have adult themes, but also it's like actually a good story. Harley Quinn on HBO Max, amazing adult animation. They have, sex, drugs, stuff like that.
The huge.
Right. But also, it's an amazing story with a very good use of comic book characters. And
Yeah.
it's like, you can be adult animation and still tell an adult story. And also, you can be a kid's show and still tell adult themes. Because kids can understand stuff. I remember watching Avatar The Last Airbender growing up, and I can understand, Aang's struggling with this grief of war because he lost his people. Like, I could grasp it as a kid. You don't have to make every kid's animation just the most on-the-nose, boring, straight-on thing.
Well, you mentioned kids animation, and this is really random, but you know the cartoon Bluey?
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
So-
I love Bluey.
Bluey is so good
It's
because
so good.
I put it on for the dogs when I leave the house because they use colors dogs can see in their color palettes for the cartoon
Right.
on purpose.
I tried playing Bluey for my dog Nola.
Yeah.
She could have cared less.
Yeah.
She's more of a Star Wars girl
Good.
than a
You
Bluey
raised her
girl.
very well then.
Solo
I feel
is,
like I have.
But
Solo is a nature documentary. He loves watching nature documentaries.
that's good.
Yeah. Nola likes those too. She loves seeing the animals.
Willie likes to watch disc golf on TV. He really does. He'll sit there and
he
he'll
loves
watch
disc
it
golf.
because he's watching the person throwing it and then looking at the basket and just waiting for them to do it. But in Bluey, they do some really good things that as an adult sitting there having to watch it most of the time because of kids.
Yeah.
But in my case, watching it because it's on TV and I'm getting sucked into it. But they do these sequences to where the kids are using their imagination to do different things like be pirates or driving a car, and the parent dogs are always doing these things with them, at least
Yeah.
what I've seen. I'm sure they do it away from the parents too. But what's awesome about this kids cartoon is that when they're doing these imagination activities, they're not showing them actually on a spaceship or on a pirate ship or driving a car. They're actually showing them just pretending. And it's awesome because
cool.
because it's letting the kids watching it use their imagination with the dogs in the show.
I mean, no cap.
No cap. It's fire
It
time.
shows how it looks when kids are playing imagination.
Yes.
And I love this show too. I got introduced by it on TikTok clips, and I watched episodes of it. And also, even as an adult that doesn't have children, it touches on themes that, like, there's an episode. So I have ADHD, struggled with it my entire life.
Same.
There is an episode where one of the kid dogs, goes through. They don't outright say, "Hey, I have ADHD," but he's like, "Yeah, I always have trouble sitting still and remembering things." And like, people say I'm not good at this because I can't remember. And it just shows him like getting a new friend at a school, and it touched me. And it's like, this is a freaking kid show, but I'm almost tearing up because it's like they make me feel seen because I was like that as a kid.
Yeah,
and it's like kids can feel that. I remember there was a kid's book that I liked whenever I had to start taking my ADHD medication that my parents read me, and it's like, oh, I can relate to this person in this book. It's like they're not being. It's a kid's show, but adults can enjoy it, and also kids can get like actual lessons from it, not just like your basic math and colors, but like emotional lessons from it.
Well, this is the difference in the shows for kids that all this effort is being put into it, and the show itself isn't talking down to the kids. Yeah. It's like, these are themes that kids can relate to when watching it, and the adults can too, because they're just speaking to the kids in a way of reality, as opposed to dumbing things down to as much as possible. But the difference in the way these cartoons are being made now, which there aren't many, but the reason that we know what Bluey is probably because it's being talked about so much. Because adults are seeing that it's quality. Yeah, it's a quality show for kids. It's different.
It's not like the Uncle Grandpa show, which is just direct.
Oh gosh,
I saw like an episode or two, and it's just crazy over the topness after the other, with no defining storyline, and it's just straight garbage.
It's just something to keep you glued onto the screen.
It's something
an internet generation show.
Yeah, it's something to keep the kids looking so they can get to the commercials, and scream, "Daddy, Mommy, I want this toy."
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that is.
That's a huge difference between that and effort.
And
good story.
Exactly, because like a good story, especially like with something like Bluey, it not only allows a child who could be struggling with ADHD to know they're not alone, it could also teach them things like it's okay to be, nerdy and pretend you're pirates and have stick swords and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're just sticks. You can be a poor and have fun with your spill of friends.
I played
playing
with so
pirate.
many sticks.
Yes, I did too.
I mean, they even cover things like there's been characters that do sign language, and they will go through the trouble to animate actual signs in sign language.
Yeah. That's really cool.
And just other stuff like that, or like the idea of sharing between kids, and it's like they don't do this like the boring like, oh, well, you have to share because it's the right thing to do. They just show like, hey, you know what? I share sometimes, they share sometimes, and we both get it. Like they're telling stories in a believable way that like a kid could actually see themselves like that. Because I remember growing up, a lot of the like kid shows, I was doing air quotes around that, were like thank you.
I heard them and saw them.
Just straight on the nose, like, here kids, this is why you shouldn't say naughty stuff, because it can do this.
Like Arthur, I loved Arthur, but it was shown in that way.
I love Arthur too, but again, it was just so straight on the nose where it's like I outgrew it almost, because it's like I don't need to be like, I'm not learning a lesson here,
right?
Whereas like with Bluey, it's like I can watch those shows just for fun because it's a good episode.
Right. Yeah, they even do small things like I saw this was one of those reels, which is basically TikTok on Instagram. But a person our age was showing a moment in the show to where Bluey gave this, I think it was a performer, a dollar bill that had like this certain like sticker on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then an episode later, a couple episodes later, maybe a few episodes later, it shows just in the background at this little cart on the street, like a hot dog cart or something like that, cotton candy. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, it shows that character that was given that money from Bluey paying the person with that same dollar that had that sticker on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So like there's these like,
Oh, yeah.
and that's so, a kid doesn't see that and
Right.
remember it. But it's
Well, I
and
mean,
it's-
they might. There are some kids that notice that
that
kind
can
of
see
stuff.
those kind of things,
Yeah.
and that's super cool. Those are where the nerds are.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
you can see, ooh, you're gonna be fun to watch Star Wars with.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and they also have other ringdoms. There's ones like Long Dog. They have like an outline of like a wiener dog in the back of every, like somewhere in every episode.
Really?
And it's like that's what, when you put some money behind animation.
Yeah.
And also, even if you don't watch Bluey, go on Spotify or wherever you get music and type in the Bluey soundtrack and just put some like decent headphones on and listen.
It's good
It's
music.
such a gorgeous show, and it's like when you put money behind animation, this moves me more than any live action show could, just because like you're able to bend reality to make colors pop more or give background music. And it's like you can do that with animation if you put money into it, and I really hope studios start putting money into it, because some of the most gorgeous animations I've ever seen are YouTube videos that there's anime Star Wars one called TIE Fighter, where he spent 10 years hand drawing an anime of a Star Wars scene. The whole video is like 4 or 5 minutes long.
Jeez.
Wow.
But it is painstakingly beautiful. Another one, it's free on Amazon Prime, called Redline. It's an anime about race cars, and it is 100% hand drawn. They put so much work into it, actually shut the studio down because they weren't able to recoup.
Whoa.
And the story's okay, but the animation is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, if you put money behind it, you can get, these artists can make amazing things.
Well, money, it starts with passion before there's even money being thrown
Yeah.
into it. Because if you can have enough passion in it and you can put out a quality product that's got adults talking about it and it's a show for little kids, then money comes with that. Because
Yeah.
then all the stuff in stores, like the show itself isn't trying to sell you products
No.
like with Bluey, but you see Bluey stuff all over the place in the store, and parents kind of want to buy those things for the kid because it's
Yeah.
like, this isn't being shoved down our throat in the show.
Yeah, it's not like
and it's quality.
Transformers.
Right.
Right.
And, I mean, it's such quality that we dead ass talked about Bluey for,
For a
like
long
15
time.
minutes.
I know, and I
we're
don't feel bad
adult
about
men.
it. I
Yeah.
don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, I don't
at
either.
all. Austin,
You go back to
You can't
work.
talk about it. You're at work. You brought your podcast to work today.
Yeah. You just do work stuff.
Austin's been
Right.
working this whole time, and we've been just hanging out talking about kids'
We've been
TV
podcasting
shows.
right in his face.
Yeah.
Showing
Yeah.
him.
But I trying to think back on when we were younger and the cartoons and stuff that actually had like density to them.
Yeah.
But then again, what's coming to my mind is like Ed, and Eddie, and
Yeah.
what is it? The what were the kids next door? Spy Kids Next
Oh,
Door.
Codename
or-
Kids Next Door?
Codename Kids Next
Oh,
Door,
that was such a
which
good
was super
show.
cool spy show. But these shows, Ren and Stimpy, these
Well,
shows were not
mean,
to
they're-
teach you anything.
There were some, though,
In Ed, Ed,
that
Eddie?
you could teach a little bit. Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
I sat down with a friend, and he had it on his Plex server. We were watching that, and the episode that we were watching was about, like, Rocco got a credit card and was buying all this stuff. So it kind of taught you that not to do what Rocco did, because
Right.
he bought all these things and then he got a bill and was like, oh, you mean I got to pay for this stuff now? And he lost everything, But it was kind of like an in your face, and like, oh, that'd really suck.
Yeah.
But it still had a little bit of a lesson in amongst all the fluff.
Well, I think it's the absurdity that makes it to where they have to be direct.
Yeah.
Because in a show like that is so absurd, if they're trying to get a message across, they're going to have to just look at you and go, listen, this is what we're trying to talk about.
Yeah, because
Right.
but then you get to something like Ren and Stimpy, and it's just boogers and buttholes.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah,
But
that's-
it's not there to teach you anything.
right.
Right. But the one that I can think of is Avatar: Last Airbender, because even though I kind of got into it late, I really got into it whenever they were like airing the end of season 2, beginning of season 3. But it was another one of those shows where like it was a kid's show, but it handled adult themes, and it handled them well enough to be like it has more of an adult audience than a kid audience at this point,
Right.
And it was another one where it's like, it taught you lessons. It made you feel like you could relate to it and understand it.
Yeah. Austin, do you have to go work again?
I have to go work again.
Oh,
There's another
no.
one that just pulled up.
What's the
But
thing you want to come back so that way we can talk about it while you're gone and you can't say anything?
Yeah.
I want food to come back. Some nostalgia foods. Have y'all thought about nostalgia foods? Or talked about nostalgia foods? Yeah.
Like the Mexi Melt.
Like the Mexican Melt at Taco Bell. Why is it gone? Where did
Vault
it go?
Vault soda.
Vault.
Oh my god!
See,
I
sir,
love
the
Vault.
original energy drink.
Surge
drinks like a
came
soda,
back,
but kicks like an energy drink.
Yeah. Like, I remember drinking so much Vault.
Yeah.
People were so into Surge and it coming back.
Yeah.
I have no memories of Surge.
Yeah, I don't remember Surge.
I got
I
a
remember
Surge
Surge.
one day, and it was just like Mountain
This is the
Dew with
worst
pee in
Vault.
it.
This is the worst Vault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would,
But
like-
I remember Vault. They're like, oh my god, that's an energy soda. If you
Mm-hmm.
drank the whole Vault, it could explode your heart. I remember my mother telling me things like that. You better not be getting that Vault. Yeah. You better not be getting that Vault. No, Mom, I'm getting the Coca-Cola as I get a Vault, and then go drink it real fast so I can jump back in the pool, and then
Right.
bad things happen and I pee.
Oops.
All right. It's just, but in reality, it's just like a little sugared up Mellow Yellow. Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually. I remember Mellow Yellow went away when they brought in Vault because it was another lemon lime soda. And I remember when it came out, they had a monster truck in front of our Walmart
Oh,
with
yeah.
Vault on the side of it.
Yeah, I
They were
remember
giving away
that.
free bottles of Vault.
They did that at our Walmart?
Yes, up the road, directly
No,
from
not
where we
our
were record-
Walmart.
Oh, okay.
This Walmart.
Oh, well, the fancy town Walmart.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking like mine and Tiny's home Walmart.
Oh no, sorry.
No, we didn't get a super Walmart till like 2006.
It was a
Yeah.
while later.
No, but I remember when they were coming out with it, and it was everywhere. My dad, because like having ADHD, I didn't get a lot of sugary sodas, but my parents were like, "Yeah, Vault, it's just like a soda." Like I guess they read the back of it or whatever. So that was like my energy drink for it, and I love them things. Every day, my dad would stop at the gas station and get me one. And I loved it. And I was so sad when they went away and brought back a Mellow Yellow. Like, Mellow Yellow's okay.
Who drinks Mellow Yellow?
But it's like, it's not Vault.
No, but like Vault kind of paved the way for Red Bull, and Red Bull, like it kind of took over.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but have you had
Everything.
Red Bull recently?
No, Red Bull is not good.
It is
they,
not.
They have some that are okay, like the different like pineapple and stuff, which
Yeah.
is fine.
No,
but
give
I
me
don't
that-
need energy drink.
Give me that original green Monster.
The Monster. To me, that's
Like,
just
if
a
I'm gonna
less
have an
piss
energy
tasting.
drink,
Red Bull.
I mean, yes, but it's less sweet tasting.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like I crushed up a bunch of sweet tarts and threw it in a sparkling water.
See, I'm one of those weirdos because I grew up in a time before a lot of the before a lot of the flavored energy drinks had come out. I mean, y'all
Yeah, we
remember
did too.
back when it was like Rockstar Full. If you wanted something that like had a flavor, you would drink Monster. But it
Right.
was like there was Rockstar, Full Throttle, Amp, just that
Full
stuff.
Throttle
Rip
Amp.
It.
I forgot about
Yeah,
those. Rip,
Rip
it.
It.
Oh man!
So,
did they have a frog that was like jacked as
No,
their thing?
they should've.
They missed
No.
such an
But
opportunity.
if you want to talk about an expansive catalog of flavors, look at the Rip-Its. There's like
Yep.
45 of them.
Yes.
Are they good? Eh. I mean, they're like $1.50.
Right.
I mean, we expect it's like a Coke with a little bit of extra caffeine.
Energy
Right.
drinks are like protein bars for me. There are many different ones, but they're all going to have the underlying flavor of bad.
Right,
Like they
but-
try to mask themselves
Bang
with
is the
good.
worst.
See, I don't mind the flavor of just a regular energy drink. I like the flavor of just
I do too.
Rockstar, NOS. I love just
Yes.
the blue NOS.
Is it an acquired taste like wine?
I guess. I don't know. It's just something about that. Every time I drink one, the tingle that I feel in the back of my throat, it wakes me up more than the caffeine.
Kind of like right at the back of the gums, right before
yeah,
the
like
throat.
at the bottom
yeah.
of the eardrums tingle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I get
And
that
then-
with sour. That's when I get
like,
the sour stuff.
That's why, because NOS is kind of sour. Isn't it like a
Oh.
grapefruit flavor?
I honestly don't know. I,
think,
don't know.
I think
It
part
just-
of it is.
It is energy drink. That is
Yeah.
what it tastes
Yeah.
like. Energy drink. Like,
Did it come out around the time of Need for Speed, or not Need for Speed, but Fast and Furious?
No, but actually, that movie is why everyone refers to nitrous oxide as NOS.
As NOS, right?
Because
but I think
NOS
that's
is
when
a
that came
brand.
out. Yes.
NOS is a brand of nitrous
Right.
oxide kit for your car.
Yeah.
But because of that movie, everyone just thinks, oh, that's NOS. Also, the NOS energy drink used to have a plastic bottle that was shaped like a little NOS bottle.
I remember that.
And it was like 2 of them in one, but now they can't sell those. Same
Why
with,
not? Because copyright infringement?
No, too much. It's regulations. Same
Okay,
with
yeah.
Monster. Back in the day, they had this thing called the BFC, Big Friendly Can. It was
okay.
Sure, yeah.
if
The
you know
F
what
was
it-
friendly.
if you know what a tall boy looks like or a stovepipe beer, it's that, but about a 1/4 inch wider.
I mean,
And it was
you
like
can, you
it
can
was like
still get
3
those.
energy drinks in one.
You can still get those.
That's too much
Now-
energy drink.
no,
that will
no.
explode your heart.
You want to know what's too much energy drink? There
Yeah.
used to be one called cocaine.
Wait,
Okay.
the name
I
of
The
think
name
or-
of it was
or,
cocaine.
It was like in Redline or something. Or
Red Line is different. Cocaine came in 3 flavors. Originally, it was the red can, which was spicy strawberry. It was like your mom was getting ready for church on Sunday and spraying that hairspray everywhere, and you got it in the back of your throat, and it was
yeah.
slightly fruity. That's what that was.
I know exactly what that
Then
is.
they had blueberry, and then the white can, which tasted like white. I don't know what the flavor
Static.
profile of that was, but however, it was standard Red Bull can size.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But it had the caffeine and energy mix equivalent of 3.5 Red Bulls.
Oh my gosh,
Whoa,
that's too
that's
much.
dangerous.
Yes, and I drank 3 of them one day, and I vibrated through time.
How
Yeah.
did you come out the other side?
Well, I was working 2 full-time jobs and going to college.
Okay, that'll
Yeah,
explain
that'll do
then,
it.
Yeah.
It was
Because
the
in
only
that
way I survived.
in that
those 2
situation,
weeks.
if it does kill you, you're like, well, either way, like either get through the day or it kills
yeah,
me.
Yeah,
So.
I don't have to go to school or work because I was
Right.
drinking them during the time of transitioning jobs and going to school full time. So those 2 weeks,
Shoo-wee.
I took like 10-minute naps in the truck in the parking lots.
Yeah.
Dang. See, like the caffeine, like with the ADHD, that caffeine affects you a little bit differently. Not everyone
Yeah.
with it, but some. And for me, I don't feel any more energy really.
Yeah, I just feel my heart rate
My heart
jumping
rate,
up.
yeah, my heart rate goes berserk, and then I start to feel a little wheezy, like
Yeah,
like
I feel like
woozy
I'm
because I
almost
don't
short of
pass
breath.
out.
Like I feel like like I have a cold.
Right,
Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel. I can drink them like soda, and like I drink them for the flavor more now because
Yeah.
I built up
Yeah.
my tolerance to caffeine for better or worse. But like I used to get that boost, but now I don't. And if I do get a boost, it's like I get it like a 10-15 minute like jump,
Yeah.
and then it's just I'm back to normal, just an increased heart rate.
We'll see. Post diagnosis, I'm kind of like you know that classic image of the guy looking through the window with it raining.
Yeah.
That's me looking into the case with the green can monster.
Oh yeah.
You know, I kind of put my hand on the glass and I just breathe in the glass fogs, and the guy behind the counter goes, "Hey, what are you doing?"
You're like, I got the diabetes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, give me 2 of them bologna, egg, and cheese biscuits. Let me get my Coke Zero.
Do they not make a sugar-free green one, or does it just not taste the same?
It tastes like crap. It is awful. It's the blue can, or I think one of the other cans too. But they're just
Yeah,
not
it's not
good.
the same.
It tastes it tastes like it's expired.
Oh, okay.
By saying Monster Green, you're talking about the black can,
The
green label.
OG monster
OG, like the
with
first
the
one that ever
green
happened.
claw marks that mean the devil.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, this
Side of the
number right
hill.
here in the Hebrew
remember
alphabet
that.
means 6, and there's 3 of them right there. So
And
that
when you
means
turn it
there's
up,
666.
bottoms up, 666 for
So
Satan.
you really drinking the devil there, honey?
While
You
they're
get that
listening
devil
to
out your
Knots in
mouth.
Satan's service talking about how they want to rock and roll all
They're
night, these
taking over
boys
this
are damned for
generation.
hell.
The devil's in them.
Drinking the devil juice, playing Dungeons and Dragons with demons.
I can just feel the devil in them right there.
You know, and that is every Monday morning when I get my bologna, egg, and cheese biscuits at the gas station. Everything that y'all just said plays through my head while the guy screams at me.
Oh my gosh, that's what the waitress here is at Cheddar's at 12:45,
Just
Or-
looking at you screaming.
right? Or 3:45 if you're a Catholic,
Or if you're 5:45, I'll yell at you.
right?
Like, that's what I'll be doing if I'm there.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for taking a trip with us to go find some things that we wish were back. Tiny, I think we should go build a fort
Well,
and
with,
watch cartoons.
with our power,
Yes.
we may just bring these things back.
while linking our Game Boys up together. and
We can
drink
dock our
it
game
from there.
vaults together.
Yes, we can dock in our fort.
Yes, we're going to dock in our fort,
Yeah.
drink our vaults,
Yeah,
and surges if
And
you're into
watch-
that.
yeah,
watch
whatever.
some
We can
cool
just bathe in
anime.
it.
And land party.
You could
some
probably
Bluey.
bathe in an OG monster, right? That'd be different.
you
That's not
could.
drinking
I
it.
I feel
wouldn't
like it would
recommend
make my
it.
door tingle.
Yeah, but in a good way, like in the way you
Maybe.
miss.
That's how you
in the
do
way you
Maybe
dance.
it's
miss.
kind of be
places you
like
don't want
using a
ants.
mint
Right.
flavored dude wipe, but it's
Right.
a monster.
Yes. So the next time anyone is feeling their door tingle, I want you to think long, deep, and hard about what you would do if life were to give you grapes.
Maybe our doors will tingle together.
Yeet is for speed, Kobe is for accuracy, and yoink is the opposite of yeet but taking it. So the Lord yeeteth and the Lord yoinketh away.